Good morning, everybody. Hello there, YouTube. How are you today, beautiful? My name is Joesephyr, and welcome to another, well, it's not really a pull session, to be honest. I'm debating whether I'm going to kind of splice this in with the Should You Pull video for Zach and Ramza, etc., or whether I'll make it a separate video. So for that reason, I will always shout out one of my patrons, just in case I do release it as a separate video, because I never ever want to not shout out my patrons, because without you guys, I wouldn't have my channel, so I'm very, very grateful. And today that person is going to be Alpha Prime 99, who appropriately has Cloud as their title cards. And if you guys are interested in a title card of your own, exclusive posts, exclusive Discord, all sorts of other benefits, then perhaps you'd like to consider clicking on the link for my Patreon in the description box below. I do also have a lot of extra posts and stuff that I put out for YouTube members, which is a new recent addition. So if you'd like to consider joining up with that and supporting the channel that way, then that would be wonderful too. Now, if these guys had released 2 months ago like they were supposed to, or a month ago even, I would have greened them without a second thought. Now that Zach's on his way, Ramza's on his way, Laguna's on his way, I'm like a bit more hesitant to do so, because I'm not sure. I might green Squall, just because then I have a new toy, like I haven't had a new BT Plus for a while. Not since Garnet, really. So it'd be nice to have something new to play with, but past that, I'm not super fussed. Cloud I'll probably give a book to, because he's good enough without it for the time being, and only thing I don't have here across both banners is Eda LD, so I don't really need anything. But hey, let's do these free pulls and get them out of the way, shall we? So let's see what... I mean, I'll take free BT tokens if they decide to come along. I'll always take free BT tokens if they come along. Well, while we're doing these pulls, actually, I did discover that I actually have found a way to use the program that I use in this, which is Samsung Dex, for any of you that don't know, can actually record my phone's camera as well. So I'm looking at some interesting ways of... oh, cool, a school LD that I already have. Thanks. I mean, an LD is an LD. So I'm looking at doing some art streams. So if anyone's interested in seeing those, then let me know. I mean, if you want to be Eda, then I'd be really pleased with that, because I'd love a damage-based call. That'd be really nice. I just need a long arm for my phone so that I can have it, like, facing downwards, and then that'll work really well, I think. Oh, wow! Oh, that's a total win. That's a total win. I was not expecting that at all. I was not expecting that at all. That's really cool. I'm really happy with that. Because that's like, I was kind of pulling for Cyan, hoping, and I didn't get it. Thank you ever so much for the follow there, Run Paisano. That's very, very cool. But I couldn't get Cyan, and I don't have Eda either. So I'm like, well, that certainly works out. I've missed Cyan now, sadly, but I didn't really want to go super heavy on him anyway. So yeah, that's a win in my book. No, I don't have Cyan, but now I have Eda, so that's cool. Anyways, let's just throw the free pull at Fang, I guess, because why not? And yeah, that's it for pulls. So tune back in, and I will see you guys for the Lufenia. Thanks very much. Hello there, everybody. Welcome back. Now, this is not my first try doing this Lufenia Plus, but I've been trying various different team compositions that don't include Garnet, because I really wanted to use Garnet, like, sporadically. Even though I love her and I love Alexander, I know that there's a lot of players that don't have her, that like think, oh, I can't do this if I don't have Garnet, or people that don't like using her. And honestly, I don't want to be using the same character for everything anyway. And I threw caution to the wind and I greened Cloud, because I hoard my stuff and I talk about greening units and I don't do it, and then people get annoyed at me, rightfully so. And so I thought, you know what, I've got enough resources that I can do Zach and Ramza when they come out. Let's just do one of the guys that's coming out. So I'm going to do Cloud, because I think he has more longevity than Squall does. So it'll be fun to try this out. And I know that this fight is a bit tentative with Rem, but I'm going to try this out and see how we go with it. Beatrix just seems really good for this for the off-turn damage. Rem also has off-turn damage, although you have to be a bit careful with it. So I'm curious as to how this is going to go. Lock Friend I figured would just work as time goes on. Hopefully we'll get a decent amount of damage out of all of this. We will see. And I'm going to start with Finishing Touch, because it just makes sense too. The only thing about Finishing Touch that it doesn't battery. It's so upsetting that it doesn't. It's the only thing about it that's not quite there. So, Clim Hazard. And because you've delayed yourself, that should mean that I'll have time to... And then I get a little extra damage from that. Lovely. It's what we like to see. And then let's swap turns over to... Oh, you do start with your buff, don't you? I forget. It's automatic. You do start with it. That's fine. So swap turns over to Cloud. Then get the Siphon Sphere up. We got Brave gains out of it at least, so that's something. You could afford to cross slash there. You have to be careful with the paralysis, because paralysis plus off-turn damage doesn't always work the best. No, concentration appears lost. Good. So at that point then I can shock safe. Oh no, that's point blank Siphon Sphere. Just HP plus for Brave gains. And then Rose Petals. And then I can afford to shock this turn, because I'm going to need to. I brought Sabin Call along as well, just for an extra delay 2 turns, just in case. Because I'm a bit concerned about it. Because Cloud can only obviously do it twice. And then Meteor Rain, and then B will get a turn after that, which is good. And that means that I can then swap over to Cloud quite happily. Swap to Cloud. And then next turn I'll use the LD. See, Rem's still doing solid damage, even though she can't do bravery damage very well, which is nice. So cross slash. I actually don't want the paralysis, to be honest. I just want the triple HP dump. Right, Rose Petals. Yeah, you've had your turn, and then this turn we'll use point blank. Rem's also helping with Brave gains towards Beatrix as well. Because look, I mean, she's churning out damage, our Rem. She's still... Her damage is really good. I've been very impressed with Rem. I have to say, I've been very impressed with her. Right, so now the special countdown's up. So let's now go... Just go Saintcloth, I think, for now, just to refresh. Annoyingly, that's not as many turns as I would have liked. But we have a Meteor Rain here, so that's good. And then this next turn I shall probably go Aerial Drive, swap turns to Cloud Burst. Because I think that's the way we want to go about that. So we can Clim Hazard here, and that would be fine. We just have to be cautious. Yeah, the Brave gains from Rem help Beatrix out a lot. Like a lot. I might not even have to use... In fact, it's probably better that I don't. So if I just go Aerial Drive and then use the EX, I think that's going to be better. Well, if I start to see the damage dip, then I can actually just use Lock. That's what the Lock Friend's for. And then we get a little chippy from there. And that means that I do, in fact, have time to use... a defense down. But I don't think I really need it, honestly. I think I'd rather wait, because that's why I have the calls here. So we could Blade Beam, and then I can just swap straight over to... although, mind you, A might get another chance there, which would be bad. Rem does help with skill uses, yes, because the free skill use is always nice. I do think that if I can use that, because your debuffs are just what? Oh, I mean, I can, as long as one of them is launchable, it's actually fine. So I'm going to Blade Beam here and then swap turn straight back to Cloud again. Rem and Cloud are really good together, just as an FYI. They're actually really powerful. And then we'll just swap turns straight back to Cloud again. And then we get Siphon Sphere. As long as I got some damage out of it, I'm fine with that. And then we can burst. And that should help rather nicely. So we can Finishing Touch over here, get some launch damage. And because Brave Leak is on, I should get a lot more damage out of this. I was trying really hard with Auron earlier, and it just wasn't doing as much damage as I would have liked. And I was really struggling because I thought that having the double ups on the on all of the counters would do really well, but I made life harder for myself than I needed to, I think. Rem is fantastic. She really is just phenomenal. I'm so impressed with her. Now we want Blade Beam. I didn't get a launch that time. Should have Blade Beam first. That's what I should have done. And then Finishing Touch. I almost actively don't want to use Cross Slash here, which is weird. But it's fine, because I can swap and change as and when I need to. They're going to get another turn before I had anyway, so it's actually fine for me to use it. So Cross Slash and then Finishing Touch again. And then Finishing Touch again. This is a bit better, isn't it? It's a bit better. And then all those times I'm sitting there trying desperately to make certain things work. And it's like, you know when you get blinkers and you sit there like, this is going to work. And then it just doesn't. And you're just kind of like, all right, okay, I'll give up. Rem and Beatrix is a really good combo as well. In events, certainly in events where you're not fussed about taking too many turns in a row. Because you have to be careful. When they go concentrating, you have to take 4 turns to not let them get one. But it has to be less than 7 turns, otherwise they jump turns, and then that's a problem. I could be cheeky here, because they're going to jump turns anyway. Go for the Safeguard, I think. Yeah, I'm going to go for the Safeguard, because I don't trust this. If I have to summon, I have to summon. Or if I have to use, like, Cloud, then I'll have to use Cloud. It's fine. And then Thunder Slash for the AoE Brave damage. See, the nice thing here as well is that Rem's LD attack counts as 2 lots of damage because the follow-up is between turns, not during her turn. Which is cool. We like that. So if I go Meteor Rain here, we should be fine for damage on that front. Because B is absolutely going to take a free... Oh, it didn't. Okay, fair enough. Alright, didn't. I'm tempted to bring a lock in at this point, actually, and just go straight in with the BT phase. Or I might summon. I might summon, actually. Just to be on the absolute safe side, because I don't necessarily trust that that's not going to break and then me end up in trouble, so I'm going to summon here. Yeah, I don't trust that. Yeah, if I don't need to use lock, I don't need to use lock. But yeah, with the ones, I couldn't guarantee the crit damage, so it might not have gone off. And yet I'm still churning out damage, which is good. So let's shock here, because I've got plenty of shocks to use. And then I'm not going to have to worry about that too much. And then we can just launch. Get us a finishing touch here, thank you. And then Rem's got Siphon Delta up, which is handy. So I can get a launch here as well. Rem. Just Rem. Rem is amazing. We love her. Starting to deal less damage now. That's okay. That's okay. Well, we can Clim Hazard. No problem. I'm tempted to switch Beatrix for the lock, which sounds weird, but I am legitimately tempted. I mean, I might just use Point Blank again, just for damage. Yeah, I'm just going to use Point Blank. Because the Brave gains, are going to help me get the damage. And they're still not taking extra turns. That's very interesting. So Meteor Rain, because that's going to keep their Brave up. Keep their Orb up, rather, whilst I'm still dealing good damage. Holy Knight Safeguard. Absolutely. Because you're doing that. I see you. I'm tempted to bring in Lock now, I think. Do you still have Rose Petals on? You do, so I can afford to use Thunder Slash here. I knew it. I didn't trust it. I knew it. I've got to be careful, though. So I'm going to swap turns to Cloud and use Blade Beam, because otherwise that could be a problem. Yeah. Swap turns to Cloud. Because I need to use Blade Beam here, otherwise that's going to be a problem. There we go. And then I can always bring in Lock on this next turn, because we still have... In fact, if I could just keep doing it, and then I have Holy Knight's Protection up, like, pretty much indefinitely, and then it's fine. Or I could just bring in Lock, do a BT attack, and then I'm good to go. Let's... no, I want to go without using the turn, the friend unit. I think that's probably better. Yeah, I think I like that more. So if I just swap turns back to Cloud again, and then use the BT attack... Like, yes, you can have your instantaneous turn. You do you, boo. Although I might have to use... just double-checking. No, I don't have to. I don't have to. I can use the BT attack here, and that's fine. Because then I can use... I can use the call, the Sabin call, on Beatrix to make sure that the orb stays up. So this might actually just kill this one outright. If it doesn't, it'll be close to it. It did kill it. There you go. Moving aggressively. Oh no. Well, if I just use Razor Gale, then you're actually fine. And now we're fine again. Shock. And then that might even kill it. Lovely. Well, we got there in the end. It wasn't a perfect run. It wasn't a perfect run, but Rem does work, even in events where you'd think she wouldn't. I did spend a lot of time trying really hard to make certain things work, and that didn't. And I got a bit stubborn about it, if I'm honest. But it's done. Yeah, so that's going to be it for this week, because we haven't got anything else on until Leviathan on Monday. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you'd like to see more other stuff from me involving artwork or other games or anything, then do sound off below, because I am working very hard on other content at the moment. You may have seen it. If not, then I am working on a Warrior of Light drawing at the moment, and a lot of things to do with Warrior of Light, so stay tuned for that. As I said previously, I'm not going to be here for either Zach's event or Sid Reigns' one, so I'm not going to be available for those, because I'm going to take the week away to kind of like detox, have a moment to myself, and kind of gauge where I want to be going with stuff. So thank you very much for looking at that, and in the meantime, do click the bell for notifications, subscribe to the channel, like the video, all of that good stuff, and a massive thank you goes out to all of you. So I shall see you next time. Take care.